Hello again, Kingston Town Administrator Keith Hickey with the latest edition of This Week in Kingston for the week ending March 21st, 2025. Town meeting's almost a month away, just over a month away. So again, people who are interested in attending and making your feelings known about a number of important budgetary issues, I'd urge you to pencil in April 26th, Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning. For the annual town meeting. It's always held at the Kingston Intermediate School in the auditorium. So if you could try to stop by, make your feelings known, it would be great. We have a draft warrant at this point. It's going to be closing Tuesday night at the Board of Selectmen meeting. Right now, we have 29 warrant articles, which include the typical funding of the general fund, the water and sewer departments, revolving funds, moving some money into the capital equipment fund, the capital improvement program. We've got 3 or 4 zoning articles to clean up a couple of things in our current zoning. Nothing major. We've got a small article of $4,000 for prior year bills. So hoping to have a decent sized crowd there on Saturday the 26th. So if you can make it, please try to do that. Also, if you're interested in running for office, as I've mentioned before, there are several openings in 8 or 10 different boards and commissions. All that information is on the town website. If you're interested, you can obtain nomination papers until the 26th, so next week. And then a week from tomorrow, the 28th of March, is the last day to submit those papers. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you take a look at what's available for positions that are open. And if you're interested in any of those positions, you stop by the town clerk's office, and they'd be happy to give you the nomination papers to fill out. You need to get some signatures on those. Not a lot of work to do that, and then you'll be good to go for being on the ballot. This Tuesday night, the 25th of March, the Board of Selectmen is meeting. There's a number of things on the agenda, so it might be a longer agenda than normal. We've got a couple of public hearings, one for the beginning of the acceptance of Russell Pond Road for a street acceptance to become a town road. We also have a public hearing on an aquaculture license. There's 3 aquaculture licenses the town provides every year. One of the individuals who held an aquaculture license has decided to give that up. So there's an individual in town who's been on a waiting list, who is next in line. A public hearing will be held to have the Board of Selectmen consider giving that or granting that 3rd aquaculture license to the first person on the waiting list. So that would be nice to get that over with, and he can get started. We're going to have, I believe, to be one last final discussion on the fiscal 26 police budget for and whether or not the Board of Selectmen want to somehow try to find additional funding to address the police department's staffing needs. Once that's finished up, we've got a couple of our boards and commissions. Wage and Personnel Committee will be coming in to make their presentation to the board on their wage and personnel recommendations. Wage and Personnel is proposing a 2% cost of living raise for non-union employees, which is consistent with the union employees in their collective bargaining agreements for fiscal 26. We then have capital planning coming in to make a presentation. They've got a warrant article that's going to be broken into 3 parts this year. The first is funding, paying cash, using free cash in the amount of $709,000 to buy a variety of equipment. The largest purchase being replacement of tasers for the police department that are becoming out of date. So we're looking to replace all 28 tasers that we have at a cost of $167,000. We then have, on the second part of the capital improvement project, we have 3 projects that are being requested by the planning department to fund the local share of some grant applications that we have. We have engineering costs of $151,000 for the Green Street crosswalk realignment right near the library, to try to address some of the sight distance concerns and redesign that intersection to have it be more consistent with current engineering practices and safety practices. That project, we would spend 151,000 and the next project of 160 to address and improve the Pembroke Street and Grove Street bicycle and pedestrian improvements. Those engineering costs would be only expended if we were successful in getting the grants, but we have to have money available to apply for those grants to provide the local share, which is typically engineering. The last project is $49,550. That's for engineering money to address Main Street pedestrian safety and traffic calming from Pembroke to Summer Street. Those funds would be expended prior to the grant being submitted. We need the documentation and supporting information from the engineering to be able to apply for those grants. So that funding for engineering request is $360,550. That will be proposed to the town meeting. And the last list of items are existing leases. We have existing leases, which includes the first of a 7-year lease for Engine 3 of the fire department that was approved at the fall town meeting. Those leases at this point are $937,357. We do have a couple of leases coming off at the end of this year. So hopefully those lease costs will start going down. We've done a pretty good job at catching up with our fleet and our aging fleet, and the fact that we had a number of vehicles. You might remember we replaced 4 trucks in streets and parks last year to try to address those. We paid cash for those. The fire department has upgraded a lot of their equipment as well to try to get them back up to speed. So we're in much better shape than we've been for a number of years, which is great. So once capital planning makes their presentation, we've got, if there are any citizen petitions for the town meeting warrant, the board will review those. At this point, as we sit here today, there are no citizen petitions at this point, but they can submit those all the way up until the board meeting on the 25th. We have a supplemental budget request from the fire chief for his fiscal 25 budget. Unfortunately, we've had a handful of firefighters who have been injured on duty and have been out of work for extended periods of time. To try to address that, the fire chief is seeking an additional $125,000 for his fiscal 25 budget to cover those overtime expenses because of that. We have $35,000 he did find $35,000 in budget savings to offset his original need of 160, and we have some additional funds. We're closing out some old warrant articles to offset that, but there's a request of $125,000 that would be, if the board supports this, would go on the town meeting warrant and voted on at town meeting for that financial assistance for the fire department. We also, last couple of things we have just a used car dealer license at 11 Joseph Street. So that'll be taken care of as well. So we've got a busy meeting, a lot of things going on. Our warrant is starting to really take shape. It'll be closed up, like I said, on Tuesday night, the 25th, and we'll start preparing for town meeting and getting information out. The moderator and I will be taping our annual TV show to try to update and provide information so people have an understanding about what's on the warrant and why. So if anybody has any questions at all as they're looking at some of the information, and there's a lot of information on our website, please feel free to reach out. Happy to try to answer any questions you may have. So I want to thank everybody very much for watching. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Have a good day.